This one is a very short amendment, but nothing's defined. So viability isn't defined. Healthcare provider isn't defined. So actually, according to Florida law, a healthcare provider could be a chiropractor,
Right.
could be, a mental health professional.
Right.
So any of these people could, by law, if this amendment is passed, could say, oh yeah, she needs an abortion. It's gonna hurt her mentally. It's gonna,
Sure.
there could be so many.
The chiropractor is like, yes, this is why your back hurts, because you're
so many wrong
Yeah.
so many wrong voices. You're talking about making sure when you're making such a pivotal decision, having the right voices behind you. You could have any healthcare provider sign off on it, essentially. And so what I'm saying is, pro-choicers, pro-lifers, red, blue, whatever, should all agree that this is a terrible amendment and it should be voted no.
Sure.
Because it would also make Florida like California. It would make Florida like New York, where just abortion on demand, we could all, I'm sure if anybody who's reading the news knows of all the crazy things that happens in those states related to abortion, and that would make Florida like that. So last year, our call center had 36% of our calls were from out-of-state people looking for abortions.
Wow.
36% of our calls. And that was whenever Florida was allowing abortions up to 15 weeks. So now it's decreased now that it's 6 weeks one day. But you can only imagine how much more Florida would become an abortion destination if this goes into effect. I mean, it would really be devastating.
That's crazy. You think of Florida as a vacation destination, right? It's Disney.
Well, that's how Planned Parenthood advertises it, actually. They say, oh, go to Florida, have an abortion, have a vacation. That's how they advertise it. And the truth is, it is no vacation.
Right.
Even if she takes the pills, she's bleeding for weeks.
Yep.
It's not.
Right. It's not pleasant on any front. So, how many phone calls does the call center get on average, say a month?
Around 400.
Yeah, that's a lot. So we said, what was it, 84,000 in 2023. So year over year, based off the data that we've looked at, that you've researched, it's continuously increasing.
Right. So
year over year.
2023 is 84,000 abortions happened in the state of Florida that were documented.
Right.
82,000 the year prior. So it's kind of continued to grow. But we also know that even with it growing, there's such a high prevalence now of abortion pills coming from out of the country. Yeah. So those aren't necessarily even documented.
They couldn't be.
Right.
So it could be just pick a number. It could be whatever.
Right.
And terribly dangerous.
Right.
Because you're getting something from someone that hasn't been vetted, that you're not getting any level of counseling prior to make the decision. Right. You're just going to friggin' Amazon and ordering something. Not Amazon's going to hate me by saying that.
Yeah,
but
not Amazon, but
the dark web is a dark place.
Right. In countries where we know that we probably shouldn't trust these countries.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We wouldn't buy corn from them, but
we would buy a pill that would. Yeah.
That would bring that in. And that's terribly sad. It's like how many, it's like many problems that people face. They face them out of fear and in isolation because it's alone, right? So you only know what's happening to those that are being reported, right? You know it happened, but nobody's talking to them ahead of time. Most, like Planned Parenthood, is not going to try to talk you into a different decision.
Right.
You're going to get you on the schedule, run you through as quick as possible. And it's depressing, for lack of a better word. I'm usually not at a loss for words, but
well, and that's why we do. Abortion can be a very dark topic, and it can be very. It can be. It's a hard line of work too. So we do like to focus on the good news. We do like to focus on the good stories, because here's the thing: is there are devastating things happening, right? But we are serving a good God, right? Who is the author of life, and we get to see God doing great things in our clients' lives. I mean, there's so many good stories of redemption, and in our clients' lives, and you see them transformed. There was a girl who shared her story recently at one of our events, so I can share the gist of it. But she had been raped and still chose life. And the beautiful thing about her story is, so I got to be there when we were recording her story, and she's got her grandmother beside her, she's got her sister beside her, and she said that her sister was struggling with infertility, and her grandmother's like, this is our legacy. This little child who we didn't plan, came from a terrible situation, is providing hope for us and is providing meaning for my granddaughter's life. And you can just see the joy that this child has brought this family. Now is the client's name's Abby. She's on her website. Her full story is on her website. But God used that tragedy for something really beautiful in her life, and has brought her closer to the Lord. There's another girl that we're recording her story soon. I was talking with her yesterday. I mentioned her, and she said that this child ended up saving her life.